I did football, I did tennis, I did basketball, volleyball, I did martial arts. In every other sport, I was better than in hockey. But I liked the hockey environment a lot. It was cozy, it was comfortable, friendly, hardly no aggression. And most important for a young guy, there were girls.
Welcome to Studio Hockey.
Siegfried Aikman, welcome to our Studio Hockey podcast. Siegfried Aikman, for those who are not in the know yet, is the head coach for the national men's team of Japan. And if I'm right, they call themselves Samurai Japan?
Yes, that's right. That's totally right.
That's a cool nickname. That is a really cool nickname.
It is.
Okay, Siegfried, welcome to our podcast. Let me start by I have a tendency to start with why questions. So let me start with probably the most important why question. Why did you choose hockey as your sport? Why hockey?
Well, that's a difficult question because I didn't really choose hockey. I had an English teacher when I was at the high school. And it was when I just came to Holland. And he said, I have a sport for you, you will like it. And he brought me to the hockey pitch.
Okay.
And I had never heard of hockey or never seen hockey or never experienced hockey. And he said, come. We went there and they were one player down. I was allowed to join the team.
Immediately
with my hands the wrong side, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But I look Asian, so the players thought, oh, that's one from Pakistan.
Yeah, they still think there's a foreigner coming. He must be really good.
Yeah, I was directly a star, and that was for the first time in my life that people looked at me like that. So I joined and I scored a goal.
Oh,
by coincidence. Wow. And since then I was hooked to hockey.
Okay, yeah, I can imagine. If you're a star on your first try, that must be faith. Huh?
Probably yes.
Yeah, because I heard you are from originally way back from Indian descent. So I thought, okay, maybe that's the reason why hockey came into your life. But so that has got nothing to do with it.
Totally nothing.
I suppose that you came into contact with more sports than just hockey.
I did every other sport. I did football, I did tennis, I did basketball, volleyball, I did martial arts. So in every other sport I was better than in hockey. But I liked the hockey environment a lot. It was cozy, it was comfortable, friendly, hardly no aggression, and most important for a young guy, there were girls.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly the reason how I got my nephews, who were very good at football, to come and join us at hockey. No girls on the football pitch, but a lot of girls on the hockey pitch.
Yes.
Wonderful. In after a couple of years, you became a coach. Why did you become a coach?
Well, I was playing in our club's first men's team, and I had some arguments with my coach at that moment. I thought he was not doing a good job, and I thought I knew it better. So
you were pretty touched at that moment already.
Yeah, and then I said, well, I will not play anymore for you. I will finish this season. And after this season, I stop hockey and I will start coaching and I will show you how you have to coach. And once you will be at the sideline when I will win a major championship. And the first time I won the championship, he was there.
And
wonderful. I went to him and I said, I told you, because I couldn't let it go.
And did you start with youth coaching? Did you start immediately at the highest level?
No. I started with youth coaching. I did that when I was playing, when I was in the under 16 team from my club, I already coached the minis, the beginners, so the 6 years old. Yeah. And I coached mainly every team at the club. So I had a long history of coaching. And then because I was still in my playing ages, let's say it like that, I went to coach female first, because if I would coach a men's team, I would join in, and I didn't want that to happen. And if you coach a female team, that's impossible.
Makes it very hard, yes. It very hard. What was the most important lesson you learned when you started out coaching and you still apply today as a coach?
The most important lesson was to listen to players, because I was very stubborn and I thought I knew everything. So listen to others and take care of others. That was important, because when I was a player, I thought I knew everything, but I always discussed with others that they had to do what I wanted. And that doesn't work if you are the coach.
No, you can't take up the stick and do it and show it on the field anymore. Eh?
No, so you had to do it differently. And very important is that to break down the skills and to understand why things are not working. So don't mention that things are not working, because that they already know. But why doesn't it work? That's the most important one.
Is it because you started coaching women or girls that you learned this lesson very early?
No. I actually believe that there's no difference between men and female hockey, dus boys and girls hockey. The only difference is that we treat them differently. And we create what we get. So we mostly create that we fancy girls more, and with boys we are a little more tougher. But at the end, if I coach women for a long time, men too, and the women were more professional in their hockey approach than boys. Boys just liked it, and if they played and they were very tired, exhausted, then they had a very, very good practice. And girls would say, "You haven't prepared anything, did you? Because you just let us play, and what's this?" And they always want to know why. And that's something that I have experienced. But if it comes to the play, I think that the muscle power of the boys is a big difference. So the speed is higher, but the technical control of females is much better. Because if they make mistakes, the ball is directly gone. Boys can compensate by speed or by power, and then it looks spectacular. But mostly it's a lack of control.
Okay. It's an interesting point of view. Have you changed as a coach throughout the years? And what changes did you go through as a coach?
Well, I have made huge changes. First, I'm an emotional guy, so I was very emotional and very busy alongside the pitch, and now I'm much more calm. I try to be calmer on the side. It doesn't disappear totally, because if I'm angry, I'm angry. But so the emotional part's still there. I can explode sometimes. And when I come home and I watch the video and think, why did I do this? There was no reason to be so emotional. But I don't know, somehow it gets to me.
Yeah, especially often there's no consequence afterwards either, or not the desired consequence of getting emotional as a coach.
It's useless. It's useless. I should not do that, and I know it, but sometimes it's stronger than myself. But I'm trying to control it more, and it works. So I think that I changed. I also changed my style of coaching, because when I started coaching, I thought coaching is tell people what to do.
Joystick coaching.
Yes, 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 yes. And nowadays it's more player-centered coaching. So I ask questions. I try to support players in what they want to achieve and what they want to do, because when it really matters, they will always choose what they want. And that's mostly not the thing you have practiced if you do it the other way around. So the more players are involved, the more you do player-centered coaching, you will see that they will have more responsibility for the game, and they will be more. They will have ownership of what they do, and that means that the results which you will get are much better, because at least they go for it. They do everything to achieve what they want. And if you force them to do things, they will become insecure. They will be, but I can't do it, and it doesn't work. And before you know, things goes wrong and are uncontrollable anymore.
Does that make for an extra challenge when you chose to coach a team like Japan, where I suppose communication is a challenge on itself? And I absolutely have no idea if the players that you get in your national team, do they already have a really good solid foundation and knowledge of top hockey at that moment?
Unfortunately not. The domestic league is not very high leveled. That doesn't mean that it's not skillful and it's not attractive, because they are very skillful, they are very fast, but tactically play, and especially what's demanded for high performance hockey, they have no clue, because they hardly get into contact with high performance hockey. Japan is an island, it's far away, it's quite isolated also in Asia, because we have to travel far for every match. The only country near is Korea, South Korea, and the rest is far away. So we hardly play international matches, and it's very costly to do so, because it's always a flight, it's all the facilities. So and hockey in Japan is small, so international contacts are not that much, and that means that here in Japan they start hockey at schools.
Yes.
And it's a school system, based system. So
like the English, like the Australian, like the English?
Yes. But if you're lucky, you have hockey at elementary school.
Yeah.
But most of them start hockey at high school, and they play six-a-side hockey until senior high school.
Okay.
So after they go to the senior high school, they start 11-a-side hockey. That means that hitting skills are very poor.
Yeah.
They are not really used to play on a huge pitch, so the short combinations are very good. They can dribble very well.
Yeah.
But as soon as the pitch is bigger, it demands more, and they don't have that awareness, because they hardly played. And after the high school, if you're lucky, you get to a university who has hockey in the program. If not, your hockey career stops there. So we have reasonably low group of hockey players, because also after the university, there are hardly clubs, and there are no clubs like we know in Europe.
Yeah.
So if there's a club, it's mostly a company club. And that means that the company allows you to play hockey, but of course you have to work, and after working time you can play hockey. And it's very limited. So the amount of matches they played, it's not very much. That's not for the top group, because they played many different competitions. And fortunately now the clubs, there are a little more men's clubs, because before we only had female clubs and one or two men's clubs.
Okay.
So because we have now more clubs, and the clubs invest more in hockey, means that the level of hockey is also increasing.
Yeah, and these clubs, do they offer also youth hockey, or is that's only senior hockey?
No, it's only one team.
It's only one team, yeah, mostly. Yeah.
Yes, and the same is at the universities. The universities have sometimes 60 hockey players, and those 60 have to be they only have one team.
Ouch.
And because there's only one team allowed who plays in the leagues, and if you are unlucky, and then it's also the system that juniors hockey of the freshmen, they have to wait for the seniors because the seniors mostly play, and that makes it very hard to get through.
So how do you select players that are a possibility for your national team?
Well, we have a Hockey Japan League, and there are many competitions. There's Koktai, that's a kind of national games, but those are all tournament based.
Okay.
And but the Hockey Japan League is a real league, and we have a League 1 and Level 1 and Level 2. And I select the best players, and in the Hockey Japan League, the clubs and the university teams placed against each other. So there you get the best together. And I check, I go and watch, I scout those matches. And there I select the players, and I also go to the junior competitions, because those are more state competitions, prefectures, and then they have an inter-high, and that means that's the national championship for juniors. And I go and watch and look see if there are talents there. And my assistants are also university coaches.
Okay.
So they scout for their universities, and they know everyone in Japan who plays hockey.
Yeah.
So together we can identify the players, and must say talent. We have a lot of talent, but they are all raw talents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does Japan also have some kind of development squads, like an under 21 or an under 18 team where?
Yes. We have an under 16, under 18, under 21.
Okay.
Actually, but there again, the under 21, it's mostly school organized. So it's of course it's part of the Japan Hockey Association, but the leadership is our teachers, and there it's also important that the players, they have to pay for their own travels. So the ones who are selected are the ones who can afford to go abroad. They play every year against Korea, and nowadays they also go to Australia, and next year they want to go to Holland.
Wow.
Last year I brought the under 18 girls to Holland, and they also played at Antwerp.
Okay.
They played against Sophie's team.
Yeah, wonderful. I didn't know that.
And they enjoyed it a lot, so they want to come this year again, but that will be difficult because of the Olympics. So next February, the under 18 girls will come, and the boys want to come as well, because I try to organize that they have daily a coach from Holland who practice with them, and then in the evening they play the matches against club teams. And
wonderful. Yeah.
They like that formula, and they learn a lot from the different coaches. And only problem is the language. They don't speak English at all.
How do you do that with your national team? Because I suppose that you don't speak Japanese, or do you?
Skoshi. A little bit. But I have a translator, and he is always around me when I'm on the pitch, so that's no problem. But well, it's a challenge, still a challenge. And
if you start yelling, does he start yelling as well then?
That's one of the big challenges, because when I'm preparing, or I bring emotions in, his emotions are not there. So we many times discussed that if I say something, I want him to do it the same way. So he need to act a little bit, but it's impossible. So it's very difficult.
Difficult for their character, for their nature then.
Yes, and especially for him as a person, because he's also very modest and a bit laid back. So he doesn't do it.
Okay.
And I can't demand it. He tries his best. So that's not because he doesn't want, but it's not in his genes to do it.
So how do you bring your emotions? Because often as a coach, you need emotions to bring on to your players, to get them to work, do something extra and go the extra mile.
Body language. And now, well, I'm now longer there, so I understand more Japanese, and I can speak some Japanese. It's about, we work long together. When I first started, nobody said anything, and now the interaction is they start getting used to my English, because I use simple English just because I cannot speak more difficult English, more advanced English. So this is what they get. And they try to remember from each time we speak or we meet, they try to remember one word which is new.
Okay.
So slowly they got more and more words. So we are able to communicate more directly. It's very funny because when the translator is around, they don't speak English at all. But when he is not around, and that's lots of time when they come to my room or they want to know something, then they are perfectly capable to communicate with me. And sometimes we need our big friend Google to help, but we manage to communicate, and that's important.
So, but because it's important for a coach to pass on the emotions from time to time to players, but it's also important for players to pass on their emotions about decisions made and their feelings and their state of mind before or during or after a game. How do they do that? No, they don't.
Hardly, because it's not in the Japanese system. In the Japanese system, you obey. You follow orders, and you do what you're told. So what you feel and what you want doesn't matter. And if you want to express yourself, it's along in a group, in safety, where you cannot be identified as what you personally want. So it took quite a long time to get to the level that they speak up. And they start correcting each other and telling each other what they don't like or what they like. And that was quite a journey, actually. We are now almost 3 years on the road. And still it's a challenge, but it's getting better and better. And we do all our meetings are actually in workshops in which players discuss together, watch video, discuss the videos, and they start telling each other what they do wrong. Because actually in the Japanese culture, Japanese doesn't really work together. They don't really work together. What they do is they try to do their job as good as possible. And they do it.
They do their tasks. They do their tasks.
Yes. So it's very role orientated. But if you do your thing well and someone doesn't, it's not their role to correct or to say something about that. That's the role of the manager or the coach or whatever. So they will never tell you that you are doing something wrong. But they will keep working harder. And the problem is that it doesn't connect. So you don't get that connection and you don't get the advantage of working together. And I always say they work like living apart together. They are together, but they do it all separately. And to make that happen demands, a lot of patience and a lot of challenges to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also one of the problems in team sports in Japan, in tactic, because it's about decision making. And decisions you have to make yourself. So if you are not taught to do that and to take the responsibility to have your own opinion and to make your own decisions, it's very hard to suddenly do it. So it takes time to get to that level. And fortunately, we are getting there. So I see a lot of progress in that. And that's where we make our steps forward.
So you have one of your star players, Kente Tanaka, is now playing in the Dutch hoofdklasse for HCC, coached by Paul van As. That must be quite a culture shock then for him, because Paul van As is quite a different coach, and also that region of Holland is known for being very verbal and very direct with each other. How does he manage?
He managed very well, but let's say it like this: I worked with him the first period I was in Japan. This is my second term, so he was already a little bit used to it. And then it was away for a long time. And as a star, you have more privileges in Japan too. So he was mostly the boss. And when he came to Holland, he was the shy guy. And so it was the other way around. So, and he was insecure about his English knowledge, and his English knowledge was very poor. So communication was a problem, and it was difficult to change that. But Paul managed, with the support of people within HGC who speaks Japanese as well. That's the good part when you're there in Wassenaar or Den Haag. It's near Leiden, and in Leiden
you have a lot of language
Leiden University. Yeah. Yes, in Leiden they have the language study, so they can study Japanese language and culture. My son did that study as well. So there are people around there who speaks Japanese, and that bridged the language barrier. And now he speaks a little English, but he's still shy about his English knowledge. And at HGC, that's also one of the reasons why I choose Paul. Paul is, I think he needs to learn to think more out of the box. And Paul is someone who stimulate the own decisions, the creativity. You have to go for, if you want something, go for it and show it. And that's something which is very important for him. And he plays for HGC now. This is his second year. And I have another Kenta now at our camps, because he's sharing his experiences, his knowledges, what he gains there, and also the way people in the West, in Western countries, are involved in hockey. That's also different. So the responsibility, the fact that there's no difference between a freshman and a senior. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody wants to share that opinion.
Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's not such a good thing, but yeah.
It depends on, but it's at least it's on the table. And where the Japanese players hardly speak, it's good to have those players who went abroad. And my captain Yamashita went to Australia, played there for a year. Last year I had 7 players playing in foreign leagues, 2 in Spain, 1 in Malaysia, 3 in Australia, 1 in New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
So they all come back with their stories, their experiences, and it helps us to grow the sport, and it helps them to understand what is necessary in foreign hockey, in high performance international hockey. So it's good, and they share, and more players want to go abroad. So there is something going on, and I like that. It's a good spirit.
Absolutely. So Tokyo is just around the corner, maybe even literally for you, but I mean time-wise. what is your road to Tokyo with the Samurai team that you manage? Would you, for instance, have liked to be in part of the Pro League to prepare for these Olympic Games, or is it better that you can hide a little bit far in Japan, away from the eyes of the world, to prepare for Tokyo? Or what does your preparation look like?
Well, you had many questions in this one, but let's start with the Pro League. Yes, I really wanted to play Pro League because it's a unique opportunity to play high performance matches, high level matches. Look at the matches; they are all exciting because it's a bit like cup hockey, cup sports. So it's every time you can go all or nothing. And there are no consequences. You cannot relegate. It's fantastic. So you can play to your maximum abilities, and they are all attacking matches. And everyone, if you are in the last quarter, you can see always that the underdog, the one who is down, fights back, and they can do it because there are no consequences, and you learn a lot because it's a fantastic opportunity to learn to grow technically on the highest possible speed. So yes, we would have loved to be part of it, but unfortunately it's for rich countries. Only if you have a lot of money. So hockey is now dominated by money. If you have money, you can become top 10 of the world. And if you are top 10 of the world, you will stay top 10 of the world because you get a lot of opportunities to get world ranking points where the others don't get. And even in the new system, because the Pro League teams, they play only Pro League teams because there's no time to play against other teams anymore. So we as Japan, for instance, we are organizing the Olympics. We hardly get the opportunity to play against Pro League countries. Actually, we had none. The only one we will have is at the Aslan Shah because Australia will join the Sultan Aslan Shah. But India refused because they are in the Pro League. We cannot play practice matches because they play Pro League. So it's very hard for us to experience or to find out if we are on the right track because we don't play those matches. And if you play those matches, it's only incidentally. So you cannot really assess your progress.
It makes it a lot more difficult, a lot more challenging to be well prepared at the start of Tokyo then.
Yes, but it goes further than that. It kills hockey because the Pro League, because of this, teams who are developing, they hardly can match the Pro League teams. That means that funding for us, for instance, we in Japan, the funding in Japan is like this, that if you are a medal candidate, you get more money. If not, and we are not, we don't get money. We hardly get money. So we hardly have funds to prepare for Tokyo. Developing countries, their country also have a similar system. So they never get into there. And if you don't get the funding, look like Ireland, they didn't make it. The question is, how will they recover? Will they get the opportunity? Can they keep growing? Will they start? Australian women, I just read that they get a budget cut from 60% because there are no medal candidates anymore. And that's not a developing country. It's one of the leading countries in hockey. Well, if these things happen, imagine what it does in the developing countries. That means that there will hardly be new teams joining the top 9 or top 10. And if that happens, hockey will not be global. We need global hockey. We need all the countries to have a possibility to compete. At this moment, there's nothing. There's only the Pro League, and there's no other league.
No, I fully agree with you. I think
I don't know another league. So maybe I missed something, but we cannot play any other tournament or system. And Aslan Shah we get by invitation. We are the Asian champions, so we are allowed to go there. But if not, we wouldn't have that opportunity too. And how can we grow our sport? It's a disaster. So I'm very. I like the Pro League matches because of the opportunity and the spectacular matches. But if you look a little bit further, then it's terrible, and it makes the countries poor because it costs a lot. If I look at the stands, they are hardly sold out, and if they are sold out, it's only in the rich countries like Holland and GB. But I went to Germany, empty stands. I watched in Australia, New Zealand. I saw mainly empty stands. I saw USA, totally empty stands. So if you look, China was empty. If you look at this, how will they pay for it? For me, it's impossible to fly all over the globe and finance this. So it should be sponsors. And well, I don't know where they get the money.
That was what was promised us. They promised us sponsors, but so far we haven't seen anything of that. So no, fully agree with your assessment here.
And the product is good. So if you look at the matches, they are spectacular. They are fantastic. I watched all the matches, and I really enjoy what I see. But if I look at it, I think maybe it's too much for the hockey, because hockey people don't go and watch those matches. Even Belgium, Australia was empty.
Well, I heard from one of the Belgian players that the stand in the other side from the camera was okay, but across from the camera it was completely empty, and that's not enough people to pay the bills. That's for sure.
No, I think so, and I think that this is one of the problems for the funding in Australia as well, because.
But suppose the Pro League supposed all the other problems that exist in this format and of the Pro League event. Suppose they are not there. Then still you have the feeling of it not being an honest, open, level playing field for everybody, because teams like you or Canada or I don't know which is the other one who's not South Africa. It becomes hardly impossible to do a preparation of a high level just before Tokyo, because you can't play the other teams.
It is a challenge, but I won't say it's impossible, because it's a challenge. You can't do that. But what I do is I look at what I have, and I try to make the best of what I have. So I created a group from 33 players, which we started, and we try to create a competition amongst ourselves to create the fighting spirit, to go for it, and we practice, we watch all the matches, we prepare on that, we watch the videos, we check what the level is, we try to reach that level. So it's not that we lay back on our backs and the legs up and give up. No, not at all. But we try to make the best of it, and we will see if that's good enough. But at least it's always in our own hands. We are not victims. But it would help when it was structured the other way, otherwise. But that's what it is.
Well, what are Japan's goals in a home country Olympics for the hockey team? You aim for a medal, otherwise you don't compete, you don't participate. But
there's only one medal which counts. That's the golden one. So we aim for the golden one. And yes, it's very ambitious. Yes, it will probably not happening. But if that's not our goal, what?
You play sport to win.
We don't want to be tourists. Yes, so I want to win every match. And I have learned that if I win every match, then I win the gold. So that's simple. And at the Olympics, many things happened. Who thought that Argentina would win the gold? Who thought that Belgium would be now number one and win everything? They come from somewhere, and in sport it happens. So if we don't have that idea and we don't have that goal, then we will never achieve it. At least we by having this goal, we have the opportunity. We created that opportunity for ourselves to get there, and it doesn't mean that I say that we are the best in the world, because we are not. But you never know how it works. And in the top 10, everybody can have a good day and a bad day and can beat the other. So it will depend on that, and it will also depend on how they look at us.
Yeah, you have maybe a little bit the advantage of being a little bit of the unknown factor, because the Pro League teams have the advantage of playing each other a lot, but that also means that they know each other inside out, and you are maybe for the first couple of games at least, you have a little bit that advantage of being an unknown factor.
No, that's not so. We live in the 21st century. That is the century of communication, of high tech and speed, internet and everything. They know everything about us. They have seen every match we played, because every country is chasing videos. They know there's nothing secret anymore. That can't be in a global world like we live in now.
So how do you create the surprise then in Tokyo?
The surprise will be the intensity. Will be our name is not for nothing.
Samurai.
Nickname is not for nothing. Samurai. We will be like samurai. So I spend a lot of time with my team about the Japanese culture, about the culture of the samurais, the strategies of the samurai. We go back to the ancient wars. We talk about how the wars went, how, for instance, the first shogun won a huge battle with when he was outnumbered in numbers by other teams, armies, and by which strategy and how those strategy works and what made it happen that the team with less numbers, the army with less numbers won, and he was able to establish a shogunate for more than over 200 years. His family ruled Japan. So if you look at that, and you look at the fact that Japan is hardly being conquered by other countries. Why? Because when it matters, Japanese fight together, and they fight with, they call it Yamato Damashi, that's all you have for Japan.
Wow. Yeah.
And that means that you are less important for, what can happen to you is less important than doing it for your country.
Okay.
And they have another spirit, the Akira Menai, that means never give up. So we value those values, and we make it a major part of our preparation. So it's not only tactical and technical. I think that
it's
if
mental.
You look at
it's mental a lot.
Sports, I think that the mental part is 90% of the performance in high performance sports, because all teams will match each other on physical fitness, on technical abilities. They all play a kind of similar tactics. They all have video, they know each other's tactics. So it's not there. It's about mental, and mental means how to deal with disappointments, how to go with things if it doesn't work the way you want, or how to deal with success, because many times you see that if a team scores, that directly after that the other team scores. So when you are celebrating too much, it doesn't work. So you need to be, that's the mental part. And what I call the social part. Social part is, do you take care of each other? Do you want to sacrifice for each other? Do you know how to support each other? Those are social skills, and people are social beings. So without social skills, some people put social skills also in the mental part, but that's too much. I think that's a huge difference. What do you do when the umpire doesn't give the ball to you? If you freak out, that's a mental problem. But socially is, if things don't go well, do you support each other? Do you take care of each other? Do you care about each other? Those things are totally different. Where will you go in that? How will you make your team? And that is where 1 + 1 becomes 3. It's about the added value which you can have as a group, as a team, if you want to be for each other. And that's where we want to make a huge difference.
Okay. Is that also the way that you maybe won the Asian Championship, which meant that you're not only qualified as a host nation, but you actually earned your qualification for Tokyo on the field? Because there was a lot of comeback in that final game, if I remember right.
Yes, you did, right. And yes, well, our target was to win the Asian Games, because we wanted to qualify on our own merit, because it's always better to earn to be there than to be there because you're the host nation. It's not only for ourselves, because we wanted to be there because we deserve to be there, but it's also because if you do so, you will be taken more seriously by sponsors, by people around you, by the press, the media, and that makes that the opportunity to grow hockey will be huge. And that's what Japan needs. And we also said from the first day our target was gold. Everybody said it's impossible because there are many good countries in Asia, and Japan has always been outside the top four, one or two times inside, but never won a medal. And so people said it's impossible. But I strongly believe that everything is possible as long as you want to sacrifice enough and go for it. And we worked very, very hard to get there. And that means also that, again, we applied on the Akira Menai spirit. We prepared to play India in the final.
Okay.
And we were very surprised that India didn't made it by losing from Malaysia in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And we were totally unprepared for Malaysia because all the time we were focusing on India. We played our group match with a strategy from not to give it all away, and because it's not the match which counts. So there we experimented with many things just to get the benefits in the final. And then suddenly they are not in the final.
Surprise.
So we had to switch. And Malaysia took us in the first period when we were a bit
less prepared.
Yeah, no, we were a bit nervous because it was different than we prepared. And as I said before, when Japanese are prepared for away, then to change that takes a little more time than we had, because we hardly had time to change. The final was a day later.
Yeah.
So, but we had a sloppy start. And if you watch the match, you will see that we had our opportunity too, but we made some individual mistakes. So Malaysia took very well advantage of that. They played very sharp. And we were 5-2 down in the last quarter. And we managed to get to 5-5. With 1 minute to play, they scored 6-5. And with 14 seconds to go, we equalized and we won the shootouts.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. It's very similar to the Germans in Rio, which gets a lot more attention. But this was also very, this enormous comeback. Really fighting comeback.
It was one because we were convinced that we could do it.
Okay.
And so we also practiced to score a goal in 7 seconds.
Wow.
So our preparation was, we did many practices based to score a goal in 7 seconds. So we knew that if you have 7 seconds, you still can score a goal.
That's a special drill.
Well, it's an easy one because you just take a stopwatch and say, guys, you have 7 seconds.
For the coach, it's an easy one. For the players, it's a little bit more difficult.
Well, time is relative. And the problem with this is that when you are in that time schedule, you get stressed. And the more you practice, the more you do it, you know that you have a lot. 7 seconds is a lot of time, actually.
Yeah.
But it looks like you have to do it all directly. But you can play 4 or 5 passes in those 7 seconds. And mostly you start with a very risky pass. And if you play that risky pass, it's done. But if you play the pass 3 or 4 times, then the opponent gets more and more nervous. So the chance that they will make a mistake grows. Uh-huh. And if you are confident and comfortable with that, it's possible to do so. So it doesn't happen by coincidence, but you need to practice. And at first we couldn't do it, but the closer we came to the games, the better we were in that. So we were convinced that even 1 minute, it's possible. Uh-huh. Yeah. And we went for it. And of course, you need to have luck as well. We were not unlucky, let me say that. It's not all designed. It's a matter of luck as well. And it was probably our day. So it happened. And that was a good part. But it also taught us a lesson that what we want, we can do. We can achieve.
Can be achieved. So, dream big and go for it.
Yes. If you have small dreams, you will always stay little. Uh-huh. And we will go for what we can.
Gold for Japan and
Tokyo. At least we can fight.
Absolutely. Gold for the samurai.
We will go for it. We will go for it. Don't you worry.
Okay. If not Japan, who will win Tokyo for you and why?
Well, if I look at the hockey at this moment, I think that Belgium plays the best hockey in the world. And why? Because the players are a long time together. The players, they are winners because this team didn't appear from suddenly. If I'm not mistaken, I followed the juniors. They were in the juniors. They won everything. Uh-huh. And all the junior championships.
Yep. European Championship, they were silver in the World Cup, but yeah.
Yeah, so they are really winners and they know what it is to be the best. And they continue to develop themselves, and the new ones get in on that high level, step in on the higher level, and they can grow with it. So the way they do it, and the Be Gold program from Belgium, uh-huh. is a fantastic program. And they did it very smart by having the best of the best inside the program to allow the players at an early age to get also a lot of external input, which is good. And so I think they are very well prepared. The players have a strong will to perform there because they still didn't win the Olympics. So that's something they really want to do. And there's a lot of competition because they have a huge group. Mm-hmm. And something similar, not similar, the team with the same ambition is Australia. And I see that they have been together now for 3 years. After Rio, they renewed the team. The team went very deep and worked very, very hard. And if I look at the way they play, they are fantastic. They are really fantastic. I watched the Indian matches. People say that it were close matches. For me, it was not. Australia dominated both matches. They were very good in their passing, receiving, and dribbling skills. They created a lot of opportunities. But the moment, and that's the nice part, the moment you slow down or you take it easy, the opponent goes away. And that was same, by the way, from the India-Belgium matches. Yeah. Belgium was dominating, and the moment they hold in, India could recover. But it was, so I think that's also one part. And if I look at the quality of passing and receiving and the quality of play, Belgium and Australia are they are the best in the world at the moment.
Okay, so Japan gold, Belgium silver, and Australia bronze.
Could easily happen. Could easily happen.
Because you're an expert in Japan after all of these years, the playing conditions are predicted to be very extreme in weather and in climate, in temperature and humidity and stuff like that. Will this be the case in your experience, and how will this impact the matches we will see in Tokyo?
This will be absolutely the case. Okay. It's even worse than you think. So it's very, very hot. It's very humid. And we have to play back-to-back matches, so there's no recovery time. And you cannot prepare for it in a laboratorium. So you need to do it in a real situation. It will be, because it's hotter than in the tropics. It's tropical weather is mostly around 33 degrees, 34 degrees, and that's it. But in Japan, and what's also there's a lot of pollution in a big city as Tokyo. So that's something you cannot copy. And only by going there and trying, and of course you can prepare. So I think that science will also be involved. I think that the uniforms teams will wear will help them to decrease the temperature with a few degrees, and they will have many ways of recovering and cooling down, etc. But still, you have to perform in the heat, and it will be very, very hot. And that's the experience I have, and I think it will not change. So the matches, especially the match with the second match of the day, that will be starting at, I think, 11:30 or something like that. Well, that will be a killer, and it is very hard to recover. We had our Olympic qualifier in Bhubaneswar, our World Series final. We played 2 times at in the hottest time of the day. And I had a few players who were hit by heat stroke, and we were unable to field our best team because the players had to recover in the important matches, and it will happen to all countries there. So, and when we were there, FIH refused to do the heat protocol because it was on the pitch around the 30 degrees. They said it's not hot enough, but they forget that if you play hockey, the temperature goes up and the pitch. So I think they will do the heat protocol this time. I hope they will do it for every match. But if not, it's very, if they once stuck by the heat stroke, it's very hard to recover. So it will matter. And the team who is best prepared, and we hope that we will have a little advantage of this because we are used to it. So, but for especially the Western countries, it will be very hard.
Last question that I usually use to close off is how much of your career and the path that you've gone on and the successes that you've had is because of luck, and how much is because of determination or special abilities or whatever?
There's no luck.
There is no luck.
There's no luck in this. If you look at it at the big range, the big picture, it's about determination. It's about what you want. It's about meeting the right people, listening to the people. I have some major people who played a major role in my development as a coach, and those people like Tayap Ikram, but also Max Scopes from Holland, the teachers, they are the ones who had a big impact on me. They taught me a lot of things which I benefit. They gave me the opportunity to do the things I had, but it's always based on the strong determination to come where you want to come and to achieve what you want to achieve. So I think that it's not luck. What you sometimes need is that things fall in the right place, but it always does when you are well prepared. So the better you are prepared, Tiger Woods said once, I know from Tiger Woods people say he got it from someone else, but he said, the more I practice, the more luck I have. And I think that it works like that.
Siegfried, thank you very much for your time today, and we hope that your prediction of Japan winning gold is one that will happen. That would really help the world of hockey, I think.
Well, thank you. It's my dream, and I hope that this dream come true too.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye, Siegfried.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Studio Hockey. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. And as always, enjoy your hockey. Bye-bye.